holiday week. This is a tough week for people to
Hmm.
show up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're going to give people a few more minutes. Holly, how are you? Can't see you, but I see you're logged in.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am wonderful.
That's fantastic.
Mm, Out of San Diego for the rest of the middle of the week here. Living the dream in the central time zone.
Nice.
Yeah. Hello, Tia. Welcome.
Hi.
All right. I feel like I should go sit in my car. I don't have a
Everybody's
driver, though. How do I get a driver?
Kelly, you're looking pretty today. Did you get your hair done?
I did. I changed the color.
Yeah, I thought it looked a little bit like strawberry blondish. It looks really pretty.
What do you think about my new hairdo?
Love it.
I'm
You're
glad the
letting it
beard's
grow.
back.
It's
Is that Danny?
Yeah.
You got a good shine, buddy.
Love it.
Thanks, brother.
I love it. All right, we give people another minute or two to come in, and we'll sing happy birthday to Sandy. Mm,
Big 4-0.
Yeah,
thought you were,
right?
thought you were 30. Hold on, I got that wrong.
No,
There is a 4 in there.
there's a 4 in there, just not in the front. Not in the front. Y'all are so sweet.
I need to go drop off a pie. Don't sing happy birthday without me. But I gotta
All right,
drop this pie before this person leaves.
all right, we'll wait.
Wait
Knees
for
to
you.
chest,
They're
Danny.
dropping
Knees
off
to
pies.
chest.
Said they're dropping off pies too.
I'm gonna eat
I
some
haven't
pie
gotten
in a
into
little
the
bit.
pie thing. I haven't gotten into the pie thing. My issue is a lot of my people are sellers, so they're not here anymore. So like when I actually look at like the clients who actually like reside locally,
So this is actually inspired by Sandy. These are hot.
right?
These are like half the people I'm dropping off pies to are expired sellers that I'm trying to hunt for next year. So I pivoted.
Yes.
I pivoted from people that like friends and family to like half friends and family, half nurture sellers. So I'm trying to. This person here is a $2 million expired from last year.
I would buy them a pie too. Yeah.
Or bake them one.
I know I would literally make them a pie. No, that's awesome.
This
Hello.
is a home baked cheesecake that took my son and I like 3 days to bake all these pies. So
That's pretty legit. That's pretty legit. All right, so I have a little bit of an agenda today. We're gonna kind of lay this out for everybody. We're gonna sing,
Yep. Gee.
and I have some topics to kind of walk us through. And then if you guys have any questions, we'll dedicate the last part of this, as we're just gonna call this an open Q&A, which is always kind of fun. So if you know you have any questions, type them into the chat. Type them into the chat. Does anybody have big plans for the holiday?
Nope, no big plans. Small ones only.
Fair enough. There's Holly. Hello.
Hi.
All right. Well, we're waiting on Danny. You guys are gonna want a pen and paper or a computer note app pad thing to type on. Kelly, that you are excluded from that unless someone is chauffeuring you around. If you're driving, just listening.
Nah, I've got a chauffeur.
Oh, okay. Well, then you need the notepad app.
All
We're
right.
gonna make
Right
we're
now.
gonna make this happen. We don't need it right now, but I'm gonna make sure everyone's lined up for this. All right, I see movement in Danny's area here. Let's see. Nope, that's Juan's fan that's moving right underneath it. Oh boy. Sandy, did you get any gifts that are worth mentioning for your birthday?
Money.
Coming in broken. All right, we're gonna come back to Sandy in a minute. All right, has anybody put? There's Danny. All right, Sandy, you got to turn the camera on so we can see you when we sing. All right, we're gonna sing "Happy Birthday" to Sandy. Everybody unmute. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be good at the same time. All right, are we ready? Shireen, you can hop in on this. You probably have the best voice out of all of us, I'm guessing.
I don't know if that was a head shake or a finding the mute button. Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
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 birthday
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 to
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 you.
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 Happy
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 birthday,
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 dear
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 Sandy.
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 Happy
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 birthday
birthday
to
birthday
you.
to
to
you.
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 Okay, that totally reminded me of my terrible family singing. That was awful. Good job, guys. Way to
That
get
was
really
beautiful.
weird.
Beautiful. My birthday's in January. I want it to be even worse than that, please. You set the standard. All right. Well, let's get to it. If you guys have any questions about topics or whatever it is, feel free to type that into the chat. But some things I want to go over today, to basically want to make sure that it's setting you up for the most amount of success in 2026. All right. And so, has anybody, by show of hands, been in the business for less than a year? Tia, all right. You're getting the good stuff early. I wish I had this stuff when I was in. How about 2 years, 3 years, four, five, five? All right, we're gonna stop there. All right. So here's the thing. Most people on this call, and Tia, you work for Sandy, so you know this. You can't just show up on January whatever and be like, let's go and turn on the engine, right? We need to make sure, especially if we're going to tackle a challenge like 100 listings in 10 months, that we have everything that we can lined up, set up, and ready to go. Now, that can be as simple of I know who I'm calling, or it could be a lot more complex than that, where you have systems and processes and all the stuff built out. All right. And so, one of the biggest things that I want to start with talking about is just habits, simple habits, daily habits. All right. For me, I've learned it takes about a week or two for something to become routine in my schedule. I don't know why. Maybe I'm weird. My wife thinks I'm weird. She doesn't understand why I can't just get it right the first time when she says something, but it's like I kind of have a schedule already. So I want to talk about how do we really look at habits and scheduling them because we have, let's call it 36 days until January 1st. Now, I don't know that everybody is going to be hopping, you know, on the phone and going wild on January 1st, but maybe that's the second or the third or whenever that is. All right. And so some of the different habits. Habit number one is going to be your calendar. It's going to be living off of your calendar. It could be a Google Calendar, it could be an Apple Calendar, it could be an Outlook calendar, whatever that is. Just please don't make it the big giant wall calendar that hangs in my kitchen that my wife thinks works for everybody, because it does not. All right. So whatever it is, let's just make sure that we're using it, right? We know about time blocking. I'm not going to teach you about time blocking, but if you don't time block, if you don't have time in your calendar scheduled to make prospecting calls, to make follow-up calls, if you don't have that, other things will start to take its place. I know this because I've done this. The second part of that is you have to get in the habit of protecting the time that you put in there. So if you put in from 8 to 9 a.m. is going to be prospecting, is going to be circle dialing. And 9 to 10 is going to be calling expireds, cancels, and withdrawals. And then from 10 to 11 is going to be follow up. You have to protect that time. You have to protect that time. That can
Can we
be.
make it a quick example, Ryan? Ryan,
Go ahead.
one of the things that I want to say just in that one moment,
Mhm.
because I see it so often, is people will sacrifice that time to go and run and do things for their clients. And I just really want to highlight that because agents think that that's productive business. And I have to highlight this because I want to frame it like this. If you had a $1 million listing appointment at 9 a.m., would you go run and put the lockbox on the door of that thing? Would you go drop the flyers off? What's the answer?
Nope.
Hell no, right? You would not do that. Absolutely not. You would go to the listing appointment and then you would do that thing. But you don't like prospecting so much that you're willing to do anything it takes to not prospect. That's the reality. Literally, calendar, really, this is a passionate moment because I face this all the time with other agents. You guys have to protect that time with everything. And you cannot veer. You cannot find the excuse. It has to be as important because it is, or more so, than that $1 million listing appointment. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Sorry, Ryan.
No, that's good. That's exactly good. Danny saved me words. We're all on the same page. Here's the thing. If you made a list of your highest priority money-making activities, you're not going to schedule over those. If you have a listing appointment, if you have a buyer consultation, you're not going to go do all the things. You're going to make sure that you're prepared and you're going to make sure you're there. Right? What are other money-making activities? Listing appointment's a good one. Buyer consult's a good one. What are other money-making activities? Type it in the chat, come off mute. Let's be interactive. Door
Flyer
knocking?
drops.
Door knocking.
Door knocking? Okay. Door knocking could be prospecting, right? I agree with that. Open houses, making phone calls. What else?
Flyer drops.
One more time.
Flyer drops.
Flyer drops? What do you mean by that? Tell me about that.
Either things where you have a listing and you're dropping off to the neighborhood, or you want to farm a neighborhood and you go and do flyer drops for the neighborhood that give market value of your current market for your neighborhood. Hey, here's how much your current market value is. Flyer drops to me.
Okay. Are you knocking on the door or are you just dropping it off?
Knocking on the door, walking,
Okay.
talking to people in the neighborhood, kind of a combination.
Door knocking. I love it. Here's one thing that I would encourage everybody, if at all possible. If you can pay somebody $25 an hour to do it, pay someone $25 an hour to do it. So if all that you're going to do is if you're going to take flyers and walk around the neighborhood and you're not going to knock on any doors, pay someone to do it. So pay someone $25 an hour to walk around and throw a flyer on someone's door. If you're going to do it, it needs to be a higher dollar value event, which is exactly what Holly just said, knocking on doors and talking to people, right? Juan made a knocking symbol, right? Door knocking, right? That's huge. Making phone calls, circle dialing, expires and cancels, withdrawals, right? Sphere of influence touches, past client touches, showings. That's an interesting one. Would I I'm going to ask Danny because I like the passion that Danny brings. Danny, you have from 8 to 10 a.m. scheduled to make your phone calls, and somebody wants to go see a house at 9 o'clock. What's your answer?
It's funny you brought this up because when I saw Kelly type that in the chat, I was like, oh. One of the things I like to describe that as is a lag measure, right? Lead and lag measures, right? So we have lead measures which produce lag measures. And a lag measure to me needs to be outside of the lead measure time. In my personal opinion, I think showings need to be scheduled around your lead measure times. So while a buyer wants to go see a home, we feel really passionate to go show them that home right now. The truth is that's not your most highest dollar productive activity. And so you should defer that outside of your time, your lead measure time. You really should. And sorry, go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
Nope, it's
Oops, it's muted again. Oh, okay. Maybe it's my turn. Okay. So I love that you're bringing that up because I think we just feel like everything is prospecting, right? Like we kind of dump everything into prospecting. And in prospecting, we mean talking or working with clients, right? Like that's kind of like the big picture. But I love that you're bringing up the leading metrics and the lagging metrics. So the lag is the result of the lead. So if you're going on showings, it's because there was something you did with that client leading up to acquiring them as a client, which is resulting in now the showings and the contracts. So when we're talking about this time blocking, and I like how Ryan kind of brought up like the income producing, right? Like, so Kelly, I think you're the one who wrote showings. So before this client became a client and you're taking them out showings, there were activities that you were doing prior where you said, okay, I need to nurture this client. I need to have communications with them in order to get them to where, because once they sign that buyer rep, you've done the money making activity. This is now just, you're in the collection process, like at that point. Yeah, so really try to think, as Danny was saying, like what are the leading pieces? So sometimes if we write all the prospecting things down, so leading is door knocking, leading is circle prospecting, leading is open houses, leading is social media, calling expires, doing those types of things. So let's not don't confuse the two. Even so, like lagging would be putting a home in the MLS, creating the flyers for the open house. That's all like lagging because it's the result of getting up to that lead signing. So once you have the listing agreement signed, all those other activities are now part of the lag. They can happen. You've got your money, like you've got your agreement for money. Now we're in collection mode. These are the things I need to do in order to collect. So if we just if you were to draw two lines, and this center line means this is the point where we've captured the money agreement, whatever you're doing up to that point is leading. Anything after that commitment point would be lagging. It's just kind of a way to kind of frame that. Yeah.
I love that. Let me add another layer onto that. And this is good. This is really good. This was not on my schedule, but this is better than what was. So we're going to stay here for a minute. All right. So money making activities, right? We can try to be everything for everybody and we'll be nothing for everyone or nothing for no one, however that goes. But here's the thing. Think of it this way. If you have a lead you meet at an open house and you follow up with them, you set an appointment, you do and we'll go simple buyer. That's the simplest pathway, right? It's fastest pathway, right? You set an appointment, you do a buyer consult, you get a signed buyer broker agreement. 2 weeks later, you're out looking at houses, you find the right house, you talk to the agent, you write an offer, you negotiate it, you get it accepted, you go through a 30-day escrow process, it closes, and you get paid. How many hours is that? Right? It could be different for everybody, right? But if you take your commission check and divide that, Sandy says 10, that's pretty streamlined. I like it. Take your paycheck and divide it by that number of hours. You're probably in excess of $500 an hour. I would imagine you are. Right. So that's what you need to look at. Like, is my time, am I doing a $500 an hour activity? Leading measure is talking to people on the phone and setting those appointments. It's doing an open house and meeting those people. Right. And so that's something that you have to do. That's something that is money making time. We then have the lagging. There are some lagging activities that are $50 to $100 an hour activity. That would be showing a house. That might be writing an offer. Then there's $25 hour activities, right? Those are things that we can hire someone to go drop off things, right? We can hire somebody on Fiverr or whatever to generate a Canva thing, right? So also take a look at where am I spending my time? Because there's sometimes when you're new and when you have sweat equity to trade instead of cash equity, you're going to do some $25 an hour activities. All right. So protecting that time, in 10 years of doing this, I've had one client ever in 10 years that legitimately had to go see homes before 9 a.m. because of work. Everybody else other than that has been more than happy to go see him in the afternoon or evenings. All right. So coming up with reasons to not get on the phone You're coming up with reasons to put a ceiling on yourself, a glass ceiling on yourself. What's up, Danny? Did you mean to raise your hand?
Yeah, I just meant I should have done that the first time before I interrupted you. If you guys really want to dig deep on this, go Google the Eisenhower matrix and spend 30 minutes filling out the Eisenhower matrix with every single thing you could think about that's inside the real estate business. Lay it all out on that chart and then really absorb it, because this topic is one that you're going to battle over and over and over again. And once you fill out that little Eisenhower matrix, it will show you what's urgent and important, and it'll keep your head in the game. Right. And basically, it outlines the Pareto principle as well, right? The 80-20 rule. 20% of your activities produces 80% of your results. And that's what the Eisenhower matrix will show you. It shows you what's urgent and important, what's not urgent and important, like showings, right? What's not urgent and not important, which is don't worry about it, right? And then what's important, I don't know. There's a fourth box. I don't know where I'm at. But in any case, go fill that out, because building flyers will go on there. Showing houses will go on there. Prospecting will go on there. Listing appointments will go on there. Everything in your entire real estate world can go on that chart. And then when you're being naughty and you're not doing the right thing, you can go look at that chart and you can very easily say, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, I love that too, because, one of the things moving forward is you all are going to experience a very high level of number of escrows at one time. As you're going through this challenge and you're increasing your business, you're gonna feel like there's a million things to do. And a lot of them are going to feel really busy, and you're going to want to make them a priority to stay organized in your brain. But what'll happen is they'll start taking over the leading KPI metrics of where the business, how you got the business in the first place. And you'll get busy with busy work, because you're going to have a lot, like you do a lot of listings. That's a lot of open houses. That's a lot of balloons. That's a lot of flyers. That's a lot of videos. That's like all that extra pile on. That's a lot of nurture. That's a lot of connecting with the title companies, attorneys, escrow, survey. All that stuff is going to start to pile up, and you're going to feel like that's what you need to focus your time on. And you're going to forget about the phone calls, the conversations, the getting in front of people, everything on the front side of that money acquisition moment. So I love that Danny brought up that chart. It's a great chart, because it shows you kind of visually, the money making things. There's another, When You Get Moving Forward, Buy Back Your Time is another great book. If you're struggling with like, where do I pin the help? Like, I know I need help. Like, where do I figure out what I need help with and what's the best course of action? That's a great, yeah, that's a great book to just kind of figure that out. But yeah, that's all I want to add to that right now. Keep going.
I love it. All right. Well, let's keep moving on. All right. So time blocking, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. Right. I've heard umpteen different people say, show me your calendar and I'll show you how much money you make. Right. That is a true statement. All right. So some habits to form, right? Morning routine. How many of you have a strong morning routine? Raising hands. Yep. No. All right. For those of you that don't have one, I would tell you we need to get that thing dialed in. That is the start of your day, right? That gets you primed, it's pumped up, ready to go, in the right mindset. So when you step into the office, you're ready to sit down and start working. Morning routine can be whatever that is that you need, right? Ideally, it would not be wake up, throw on clothes, brush teeth, jump in car, drive away, right? Like we hopefully would have a little bit more to that, right? So working out could be one, getting your body moving could be one, prayer or meditation could be one, reading could be one, continuing education could be one, spending time with your significant other, spending time with kids, right? But also it gets scheduled. I have all my workouts in my Google Calendar. Everything goes in there. All right. The next thing we talked about making calls. We're not going to beat that dead horse at this point. I think we've killed that guy. Social media. How many of you are in the habit of posting on social media? How many of you have that in your calendar? How many of you feel guilty that that's in your calendar? You've scheduled time to be on social media. You shouldn't feel guilty, right? You're not getting on and mindlessly scrolling through Instagram Reels, right? Like you're getting on, you're recording. What's the easiest way? We'll see who's a good answer to this. What's the easiest way? So you have 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. scheduled for phone calls. And from 10 to 10:15, you're going to record a reel and you're going to post it. What's the easiest way to come up with a topic right at 10 o'clock in the morning? Does anyone have that answer? No pre-planning. You hang up the phone, hang up the dialer, you got to pick up the camera and film a video. Anybody? How about this? What's the last conversation you had with the buyer or seller? What was the issue they were facing? And did you have a solution to that? Here's your video. We're going to wait until after the first of the year because we feel pricing is going to whatever. We feel there's going to be more opportunities. We're waiting for interest rates. We're waiting for affordability. We're whatever that is, right? That's what we're going to get a lot of this time of year. We're thinking about selling, but we're going to wait until May after our kids are out of school, right? Is there value that we could bring somebody today if we talk to them? They want to sell a house? How about just reverse engineering a timeline for them? Talk about it. Share what you're doing. Super simple, right? But we got to have a habit of doing that. Working out, getting your body moving, right? That can be anything from literally getting out and walking. You are allowed to make phone calls while you walk. Don't go up hills. You don't want to be panting into the phone while you're prospecting. That can be a little weird, right? But walk around. And then here's a good one because everyone who on here is signed up for the challenge already at this point. Let me get a feel for this. All right, about half the people. Okay, so you guys are getting your Sisu account. Guess what you have to do to make the Sisu account work? You have to log the numbers, right? Is that a habit? It is, right? We have to get in that habit. That could be a habit that if you want to win the $10,000 prize, you got to log them daily. But if your answer is, hey, I'll log them once a week, still a habit. Friday afternoon, Monday morning, Sunday night, whatever that is, you still got to log them. Right. So those are some of the habits. Danny or Sandy, do you have any habits you would add on top of that while we're here on habits to get formed now so they are habits by the first of the year?
I always like deferring to Sandy, but especially today on her birthday.
You
But
say that one
she
more time.
might be in tough service. She might be in tough service. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Sandy looks frozen, or she's extremely
Okay.
intense right now.
You know, one of my most important habits, and I put it in the sheet inside of our platform. I put the SMART goals, right? Silence, meditation, affirmations, reading, savers, not smart, savers, silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and writing. So all of those really, really, really important. But one of my favorite guys is I wanderlust every single morning. So from like 5:45 to like 6:15, I'm looking around the world at vacations I want to take. I'm booking itineraries. I'm literally living this little kid life where I'm like, I mean, this morning I was looking at shotguns. I don't know why, but I'm like looking for a shotgun right now. But I do stuff in the morning that inspires me to go do the hard things later in the day. So I love, love, love that specific one. I just started doing that a few years ago, and it's my favorite thing of the day. I just sit there for 20 or 30 minutes and roam around the internet and look for fun stuff that I can do with all the money I'm going to make.
I love it. Sandy, you're back. Anything to add? Any habits that we want to throw out there?
Yes, sorry. Yeah, we're traveling and we just have these, we're going towards the hill country. So we have a little pockets. Yeah, I think the biggest habits, I kind of want to go back, like I've gotten back into the commitment. Like I was working out every morning, like die hard. And then, like I'm human, like everybody else. I just get busy, this challenge. Like I'm like, I got to get to the office a little early. I've got extra things I need to work on that aren't in my calendar. Like my calendar's full. So anything I add, it has to be like either before or after everything else in the calendar. So I've been doing a lot of early mornings on the back end of all of this. But yesterday I was like, no, I don't want to be that person who like starts on January 1, right? Like I want to be that person who I'm building that habit now so that on January 1, it's part of my practice. It's mindless. It happens. My body responds to it. I have to get up. And even just since yesterday, like this morning I was awake and I was like, I remember this feeling like my body would just naturally wake up and I would be so awake, ready to jump out of bed and go do the things. The last couple of weeks, I would wake up and a little bit later, and I'm like, I don't know, because now if I go work out, it's going to be like 7:30 by the time I'm done, and I would just kind of get into that cycle. But I know for me,
Healthy habits.
yeah, it's just pulling the plug, right? Just be like, it all starts with me. I have to start today. Like the habit, it has to be a habit today. And the only way to get through that is like play tricks, because I think my brain is like, you could just lay here with Michael for a little bit longer and the cat's right here. It's so cozy, you know, and my brain is like, I have this little like, damn it, Danny, get up. You have to be an example. Get out of bed. Lay here a minute. Like I have the angel devil on my shoulder. Like I know what I'm supposed to do, but like it's crazy how fast we can like our mind can talk ourselves out of it. I think it's Mel Robbins. She has like the 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that's it. Like you have 5 seconds. You need to like act within the 5 seconds, or you get into this like mental, like your mind actually shifts. The thought actually moves away. So that's what I've been doing. I've been getting up and I'm like, okay, I'm up, out of bed. Get upright, get moving forward. 5:30 is my typical time to wake up, if anybody was asking. But yeah, I think we have to just pull the plug and make the commitment. I love what Danny said too, about really choosing what you put in your mind for the day. It does help you. If you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got taxes to do, I have to get my receipts scanned for taxes, you know, it's December, I haven't done anything. If you wake up with that burden thought, right, and you start going through that rabbit trail, the whole rest of your day is not gonna, like, it's just gonna feel derailed. But I love how he said, like, you get up and I'm like, this is going to be a great day. We're going to have 10 people register for the challenge today. Like, you just have to set those things forward in motion. And it's crazy how your body and your brain will start to respond to reach the things that are meaningful to you.
So Sandy, you brought up Dan Martell. I hired him last year to be my coach. Dan Martell's the one who wrote Buy Back Your Time. He coached me for a year through group coaching. And one of the things he challenged us to do, which my previous coach challenged me to do, but way less, he said, write down your goals, not 1 time a day, but 3 times a day. And I'm not asking you to do that, but if you did, it would significantly increase the odds of you actually hitting your goals, like by a ton. But one thing I do ask of you is to, at minimum, write down your goals for this next year every single morning. Your gratitude. So you write out your gratitude. I love my life. I love my wife. I'm so grateful for my kids, my health, all this stuff. And then right after that, we write, I'm going to make $2 million in 2026. I'm going to run 3 Spartan races. I'm going to finish a 72 Ironman marathon. You write down all of your goals in your gardens, okay? And then right after that, you just write down your goals for that day. So you write down your big goal, and then you write down, okay, I'm going to have 15 conversations today. I'm going to run 4 miles. I'm not going to have any sugar. I'm going to kiss my wife before I leave the house. I'm going to tell her something sweet. And you just write down what you got to do for that day right after you write down your big goal, and then boom, you're out the door. So I really, really, really am pushing you guys to make sure you make that happen.
Love it. By show of hands, who's listening to this going, this is a lot? I am, a little bit. It is a lot. How many of you want to live a full life? That's it? Anyone else? Amanda, looking at you. All right, everybody. Good. There we go. Hey, so guess what you have to do to live a full life? You have to live a full life. right? You can talk about it, but you got to be about it, right? So what I want to kind of transition here to is capacity, right? And so there's two types of people in this world that I've met, right? And this has to do with what recharges you. Some people get recharged by sitting around and doing nothing. Other people get recharged by doing things for others, right? I'm one of the weird ones that I do not like sitting around. Makes my wife insane, right? That drains me more than it does recharging, right? And so identifying which one you are and making sure that you do have a day in the week that you actually do get to rest. In real estate, especially if you're newer, it could be you get 2 half days equaling out to a whole day, but you cannot go hard in the paint for 7 straight days for 10 straight months. You will burn out, right? There's only so much you can do. All right. So that's something that we just need to be very clear about. But here's the thing. And what Danny was really talking about with writing down your goals, writing this down, writing it down daily, looking at it daily, writing them out in detail, sharing them with a business partner, sharing them with a coach, sharing them with a group like this, sharing them with your spouse, sharing them with your kids. The more that you are looking at them, the greater the opportunity is that they're going to manifest. And so here's the thing, capacity has a lot to do with mindset, has all to do with mindset. And Sandy talked a little bit about it, like get out of bed. Right? Those of you that have worked out or like working out, whether it be running or lifting or jujitsu or whatever it is, right? I don't know off the top of my head, short of like an injury, of where I've forced myself to get to the gym and ended up coming home and being like, that was a horrible decision, right? I've never had that happen. I think that's going to happen every single time. And there's been a couple times where I've gone to the gym and I'm like, I'm here and now I'm going home because I feel like I'm going to vomit, right? Or whatever it is. But I get to the gym, right? Get out of the bed and get into a different room. And it's amazing, right? Because especially when it's cold out and you're so warm in the bed, it's like, I want to get out of bed, right? So you got to fight that. But mindset for capacity, you get to choose that. That's 100% up to you. And so if whoever in your previous life has spoken that over you, this is too much, you're doing too much, how are you going to do all that? You're going to do it because you schedule it. You're going to do it because it's a priority, right? You don't have to go from I schedule nothing to I have every minute of my day scheduled. That's probably actually a bad thing, right? But go for I have nothing in my calendar. I don't time block anything to I'm going to put an hour of prospecting and an hour of follow up on my calendar and I'm going to execute that. Do that for a week, right? So capacity, that's up to you. I remember when I was going through officer candidate school in the Army, it was a long time ago. We had to stay in these barracks and they were awful. And I remember there was a handful of times where it was midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're just doing stupid things, right? Because the point of it is they're making us do stupid things, not because we're being stupid and goofing around, but like just part of the curriculum is you're going to do stupid things. And then, oh yeah, we're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and we're going to go march 12 miles with a big heavy backpack on. And I remember a handful of times I'm like, this is like, you're setting us up for failure. This isn't going to work. How are we going to do this? I'm going to be so tired, feeling sorry for myself. And guess what happened every single time when the alarm went off at 4 o'clock in the morning? And it wasn't an alarm, it would be someone waking you up not so nicely. You got out of bed and you got your boots on or got your PT shoes on and you went and you just simply started executing it. And guess what? No one ever fell asleep in the middle of the day. It didn't ever happen. Right. So I've learned through that. Get out of bed, get your shoes on, get your clothes on, and get moving. And you're going to be okay. The human body is a miraculous thing. All right, so capacity, that's up to you. Now, I want to spend the last few minutes here that we have. I want to talk about leverage. Leverage is going to be a very important thing. Some of you are already leveraging people and systems and things. Some of you, right, who are brand new at this are going, that would be so nice to be able to leverage people, but I just want to make some money on my own. I want to prove that I want to make 6 figures. I want to make 100 grand, whatever that is. So wherever you're at in there, let's talk a little bit about leverage. So Sandy is a barbarian. She did this 100 listing challenge. And she purposely is like, I will do this all on my own. Right? That's just savage. Right? That's why I don't mess with Sandy at all. And her husband's pretty badass also. So double don't mess with Sandy. All right. You don't have to do that. Okay? I would highly encourage you to don't do that. Okay. Sandy's proven that it can be done. I know that a lot of you on here have absolutely the ability to be just as much of a badass as Sandy, but I don't need you to prove that to me. What I need you to prove is that you can just execute a whole bunch of listings and work with a whole bunch of people. I want you to prove to me that you can make a whole shitload of money You can serve a whole shitload of families, and you can live a life that's beyond anything you've ever done. That's what I want you to prove to me, right? I don't want to hear about how you did it all on your own and be like, that was kind of stupid, right? I want to hear about how you leverage other people and you still get to take a little vacation with your family in the middle of this while executing. That's a win. That's what I want to hear. Okay, so let's talk about leverage. Easiest way to leverage is a transaction coordinator. Look online. In San Diego, it's $550 a file, and they do all the things that are awful to do in real estate. Now, if you're in an attorney state, I do not even pretend to speak intelligently about that. But if you're in an escrow state, transaction coordinators are amazing. I'm sure they're really good in attorney states. But use them to do all your disclosures. Use them to do all the things. Let them be your document vault. Let them make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Right? That's stuff that you don't have to do. There's a couple friends of mine out here in San Diego that do well for themselves. They're doing a lot better than I was when I met them. And they took a lot of pride and they did everything. Which I'm like, I'm not doing as much business as you, but that seems kind of stupid. And now that I'm doing a lot more business than them, looking at it going, that is stupid. Right? You're literally spending time loading freaking disclosures into DocuSign for however long. Even if you have all the templates in the world set up, you're still spending 15, 20, 30 minutes doing this. Right? What else could you do? See, scheduled making phone calls that might be a higher level of producing money for you. All right. So transaction coordinator, right? Maybe your team or your group or your brokerage has one, but hire a transaction coordinator. $550 out of the commission that buys back your time is hands down the best investment that I would tell you right off the bat to make. Sandy?
Yeah. So I'll just say those fees vary. One, thank you. The only reason I savagely did it is because it allows me to create programs like this, because I want you to know it can be done by yourself. And I've proven that. Is it a smart thing to do? Not necessarily, but if it is what you have to deal with, it is possible. So that's why I've beasted my way through that, to be able to earn the right to tell you it's possible. However, like we just hired a couple more VAs, and so one of them at a lot less than $550 a month, we'll be able to start taking over our transaction management, like $150 like per transaction. But when you're starting, sometimes the easiest way is to go with somebody who already knows how to do it. Because when you do hire a VA, you have to train them how to do it. So that's where that leverage, like some right now, like in the beginning, like just let someone who knows how to do it, because your time is going to be more valuable going and getting more business and handing it off. So from a cost comparison, it might seem like a lot if you're only closing a few deals a year. But when you've got 5 to 10 in escrow every month, that is the most blessed fee that you'll be very happy to pay, because when you can look at a big picture of 10 closings a month, that $500 per doesn't seem so overwhelming and so expensive. But as you start to grow and you start to build, there are less expensive ways to do it over the long haul. But don't feel like you have to do it, but caveat that.
I love it. So you kind of teed right into the assistant thing, which would be the next one that I would talk about. All right. So hiring an assistant. Some of you probably have an assistant. Some of you are like, I would really like to make enough money that I can live the life I want. I don't have the ability to pay someone else. The intermediary is exactly what Sandy said. It's the virtual assistant. Danny at some point will spend a lot of time talking about this. Danny is an absolute savage when it comes to using VAs. All right. And so having somebody that you can pay $4 or $6 or $8 an hour to do the $4 or $6 or $8 hour in activity buys back your time. All right. So that's another thing I would take a look at. You are able to share virtual assistants with people. Right. That's a thing of where 2 or 3 or 4 of you could get together and hire one VA for 20 hours a week, and you split it up, or you each get 4 hours a week, whatever that is. Right. The next one, right? We're going lifting heavy. Juan, go ahead.
So I have a transaction coordinator that I'll trust my life with, but I'm in the process of looking for an assistant. Do you guys have a template for all the stuff that an assistant needs to do, or at least the critical points for that? That way, when I am hiring this assistant, I know what I tell them. Hey, these are the things that is required, and these are the things that I can I might think that they're important, but they're really not on the high priority list.
Juan, I'm
I'll
gonna.
answer. Oh, I was gonna
Okay,
say I'll
go
answer that.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No one can write your job responsibility for an assistant. No one. I could give you mine, and you'll be like, I don't even know what this means. Half of it's acronyms. Like that one of the biggest problems I see is people wanting to just take someone else's job responsibility list, I guess you could say. I look at it this way: when you, when I look at my time, like Brian said at the beginning, say we're worth, our value is $500 an hour. If I'm sitting in the corner, stuffing envelopes and licking, like, okay, that's something an assistant can do. So if you could just frame it like, would I pay someone $500 an hour to do this job? The answer is no. That means then you should not be doing it. Put it on your list of things an assistant can do. Start building that list, because that's the only way you're going to know what comes off of your table. There's things I like to do. It brings me joy in my business to do. Could I hire someone to do it less? Absolutely. But I love that part of it. You know what I mean? So there's things that you'll have to leverage the things you don't want to spend your $500 an hour time doing. So one of the exercises I talked about before is doing a time audit, doing an actual time audit to like keep a 2-week log of like every 15 minutes, write down what you're doing, like every 15 minutes, and then start to categorize those. Say, how much time did I spend on the phone? How much time did I spend behind the computer on transaction paperwork? How much time did I spend writing copy for my social media, filming on Canva, like all the things you do all day long? Figure out what you do first, group them together as you're building your time blocking schedule, and then you can decide, is this something I need to do? My voice and my face are worth $500 an hour. Everything else, I don't have to do. Like, that's where I've come down to, if it requires my voice or my face.
That's good.
Everything else you can probably delegate for significantly less.
Yep. Juan, I'm gonna share with you how I was taught to do that. I'm like, can you not just tell me what the answer is? And the answer is no, you have to. Exactly what Sandy said. I can't give you mine. Right? Create a list. But so one step before what Sandy said, create a list of everything you do. Right? So everything you do to work with the buyer, I have to schedule an open house. I have to come up with a sign map. I have to gather the signs. I have to put out the signs. I have to set up this. I have to, all the things. I have to follow up. I have to make phone calls. I have to set an appointment. I have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G for between the time you set an appointment and when they show up. All the things. Make a complete list of the things. And then the things that don't require either your face, your voice, or your expertise are things that you can farm out. That's the only, because here's the other thing too. If you hire an assistant, you can come up with a great list for them, but are you clear on what you're doing now? That's why you got to come up with the whole list. It's obnoxious. I'm sorry, but it works.
The only other way that I would recommend, if you have the funds to hire an assistant, hire them and say, I need you to follow me around like my shadow, and I need you to keep track of absolutely everything that I do all day long. And then I need you to identify the things that you're comfortable taking off my plate tomorrow. And then as you keep following me, what are you take off? Because then they can actually identify what's comfortable for them. They can start helping you build those SOPs or those steps, those checklists of task management as they're removing it from you. You can also say, okay, if you take it away from me, you need to document what it is and how you're doing it. Right? Like that's another way to do it. If you can afford to have somebody just from the gate, just be by your side 24/7. It's the other way to figure that out.
How much
That's
time do
good.
you think the shadow method would work?
2 weeks. I think 2 weeks, because that should cover almost everything you're doing. 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, that's going to cover your phone calls. That should cover open houses, working with buyers, getting listings together. Like, if you feel like they've pretty much seen everything that you do, at least once. But I would say you're probably, unless you're in a high producing situation, you're probably going to need them about 3 weeks to follow you like a hawk and just keep track of it.
Because you refine it.
Yeah, because you'll keep refining it. I don't think it's ever over. Like, I'm still tweaking, right? Because as my assistants and my VAs gain more skills, they become more efficient. And now they have more time. So I'm like, okay, what is the next thing I can hand to them? But it's great to just find those quick identifiers right off the bat. You're going to find out what kind of person they are, what their skill set level is, because it'll be like, oh my gosh, all those mailers, I can knock those out. And you'll know, like, do they sit there and hem and haul and stuff envelopes, or are they like stuff? Like, are they like a rapid fire, assembly line, right? Like, because you can give somebody 100 things to do, but are they going to do it efficiently, right? So yeah, I would say several weeks until you feel like they have a really good picture and a really good documentation of like everything that you do.
It's good. All right, I'm going to cruise through the last couple here, and I'm going to turn it over to Sandy. All right, some other people to look at bringing in, look at hiring, look at partnering with, right? One would be a buyer's agent, right? If you have enough listings, you can bring in a buyer's agent. That can be a new agent in your office that's trying to figure out how does this work, right? You give them a cut of the deal, whatever that looks like, a percentage, and let them go work with the buyers. You handle the higher level stuff with buyers. It could be a newer agent in the office where you say, hey, I'm going to hand you a buyer and you and I split it 50-50. You do everything, right? But that gets you still getting paid with buyers. It's still adding clients to your database and it's still making money as you're going through the process, right? And you're giving back. It could be hiring one, right? Hey, you take all the buyers, every buyer lead, you do every open house, you get every buyer lead, we split it 50-50, whatever that is, right? That's another leverage. You could look at those of you that have been in the business for a little bit, a production partner. It's kind of a hybrid between a buyer agent and a assistant, right? That's a whole nother conversation. And the last one would be looking for someone like a listing coordinator, someone who is responsible for going out and putting on the lockbox and dropping off new booties and meeting the photographer, right? That also all of a sudden starts looking like a production partner. It starts looking like an assistant, right? All these, we start kind of chopping up words here, right? But take a look at the leverage opportunities that you have because it's providing more time for you to do one of two main things. Thing number one is go make more money, make more phone calls, set more appointments, have more appointments. It provides that. The other thing that it also provides you with is the ability to take a vacation with your family for a long weekend or for a week. It provides you with the ability to go to your son or daughter's baseball game or soccer game or whatever, musical recital or whatever it is. Right. So it's not just buying back time so you can scroll Instagram. It's buying back time for family. It's buying back time for making more money. All right. So I'm going to turn this over to Sandy. For those of you that haven't signed up, we're going to let the lady, the myth, and the legend, Sandy, tell you a little bit about our 0 to 100 listing challenge. I'm going to put the link in the chat here in a minute. I'm also going to put all three of our Instagram handles in there. We'd love for you to follow us. I
Beautiful.
know. So, Sandy, the floor is yours, young lady.
Thank you. I love how he says young on my birthday. 54, you guys, if you're wondering, I'm 54 today. Anyway, so the listing challenge start for those of you, I think there's several of you on here that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, so hi. The whole concept and what I found from this is a few years ago I had the opportunity to take on a big challenge with Tom Ferry, and he bet me $10,000 that I couldn't take 100 listings in 10 months. Which was on stage in front of a lot of people. Anyway, I took him up on this challenge and I won. I listed 103 houses in 10 months. And so what that did is it opened an opportunity for a lot of people to say, well, how did you do it? And so I've just started talking with people. How did you do it? How'd you do it? I built a Facebook group that's free, where I just started sharing. And over the years, it's become a little bit more of people want a little more accountability to help them actually get there. And so this year we decided we were going to do an annual, well, I decided, and then God just introduced me to Danny and Ryan through EXP and some other mutual friends that we had. And we just were in this complete alignment. with wanting to help agents become better listing agents. Buyer agents are great, but the leverage is in the listings. The lifeblood, the longevity of this industry is in the listings. The market share is in the listings. The brand is in the listings. You're a buyer agent. You don't get to put your sign in the yard to say you brought a buyer. You only get to put your face in the yard and your brand in the yard when you are the listing agent. So everything we do in our businesses should be leaning towards getting the listings. It will result in buyers. You'll get referrals for buyers and all of that. But one of the things I found was I thought I was really great at my listing business. And when there's $10,000 on the line and 8,000 people watching you, waiting for you to fail, you learn real quick where your strengths and weaknesses are. And you learn real quick how to dial in your systems and operations to be able to manage taking 10 listings a month. And so that led us to just wanting to help more agents, as many agents as we can, lean in and learn. So the three of us are opening our playbooks. You'll get everything we've ever created. It will be like you're on our teams, like you're with, like it's going to be so intense. But the framework of it is, it does start January 1st is the big launch day that everyone starts day one together. It is competitive. It is 10 months long. Every month we will be coaching you through one listing lead pillar, everything from building out SOPs, scripts, marketing material, nurtures, prospecting, drip campaigns, letters, like whatever that pillar needs, we will be helping you through our guidance, give you our expertise, the community's expertise, lifting you up and helping you as well. And at the end of every 30 days, you should have a really dialed in, like everything for open houses, everything for expires, everything. I mean, just list the lead pillars. Every month, we're also going to have our leading measures of life. You're going to have different KPI metrics. We're going to have leaderboards. We're going to have rewards, and we're going to gamify a lot of it as well to help keep you encouraged and inspired to outbeat other competitors, because that's a way we get better, is when we're rewarded by outperforming, right, ourselves and other people. We're going to have master guest speakers from the industry, a lot of names a lot of you have heard of. And I mean, everyone from Spring Benson, Justin Nelson, Bill Pipes. I just got Todd Collins yesterday to agree to speak to us. We've got, I don't even know, we have so many that we actually now have 2 master guest speakers for all 10 months. We have 20 people. Chelsea Pites, we have people, coffee and contracts people, like it's crazy. And these are all people from different parts of the industry. Some are mindset coaches, like they're just all full package. So between us, you get all these other amazing industry professionals. We're just here to make you a better agent, to help you become the agent you deserve to become, and make sure you have the tools that you might feel are holding you back from becoming that.
It's
Sandy.
Sandy. It's $1,000 a month, right?
No, it's only $99 a month.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to put that out there because it is truly insane, guys. The value
I know.
you get with this program, it's literally mind-boggling.
I'll put it this way. I sell one of my 30-day courses, self-paced courses online. One lead pillar is $147. Just one. And so you're getting, and that's self-guided. That's not me involved. You just buy it. And so, yeah. And the reason we're doing that, guys, is we just want as many people as possible. We want everyone to afford it. The other super cool thing, and thank you, those of you who are already using this, I am loving watching the metrics on this. Once you join, you also immediately get to become an affiliate. You'll get your own link that you can share with your friends and your peers and in your circles, and you'll earn $99 for every one of them that signs up. So if money is like, I don't know if I can afford it, I know it's $99. I don't know, maybe that's no Starbucks. Whatever it is, the sacrifice of $99 in one way, shape, or form. Like I'm a wino, you all know that. Like I drink $100 bottles of wine. So I'm like, that's just one bottle of wine less a month, right? Maybe it's your Starbucks habit. Maybe it's your fast food or your DoorDash. Like we all can come up with $99 a month. But if it is truly that much of a struggle, use your affiliate link and you're able to get other people to join. Makes just more fun for everybody, the more people who join. The way it's handled is once you sign up, you'll start getting emails into our 0 to 100 community. So it's our private community of registration competitors. So it's almost like a private Facebook page or a school community, if you're familiar with one of those. We've got downloads in there. We've got how to get ready guides in there. We're all starting to get to know each other in there. This is your pack. This is your squad for the next 10 months. And we are going to celebrate each other. We are going to lift each other up. We are going to share. It is not broker specific. We don't care where you come from. We just want to help everybody and anybody. So it's going to be amazing. Those of you who are already in, they're already starting to go through their databases, getting things cleaned up. So the earlier you get in, the more coaching and assistance you're kind of going to get through. We have separate calls already in the group for people who have registered to help to make sure you're set up. So January 1 is not the day to start learning. Now is the time to start learning and preparing. And we're just dropping all kinds of crazy stuff in there. It's insane. You guys are already like so remarkable. I'm blown away. Yeah. Everybody belongs here. Yes, Shireen. I haven't met you yet. I think we've got Shireen in there. I think we've got McCall and there was somebody else. Did they jump out? There were 3 of you in here who weren't registered quite yet. So, Juan, are you not in there yet? Juan.
I'm not, but I am. So the question I have now is CRMs. I use Follow Up Boss. Do you guys have a specific CRM that you guys are using besides the SUSU accountability program?
You can use whatever CRM you want. I know a lot of people are tied to it from their brokerage or just their history. We're not encouraging anybody to necessarily change CRMs. We use Follow Up Boss from our team perspective. But what we're teaching you will not be CRM specific. You will be able to apply what you're learning into any CRM that you're using, whether you're using KV Core, Sierra, Lofty, whatever. It'll be very transferable. Yeah.
As long as you're using a CRM.
Yeah, and if you're not using a CRM, we're going to help to make sure you at least start some way of tracking and measuring your data with your clients. If that's something new to you, of course, we'll introduce you to what that is. And the other thing you get in the program is CSU. CSU is a accountability metrics software. It's insane. It's wonderful. They are our main sponsor. You all get that for free. That's a $250 a month per person platform. You're all getting it included in your $99. It's our gift to you. It's Sisu's gift to you because it will change your business, whether you're a 1-person show or a 200-person show. It is amazing. So yeah, the value stack, I mean, I could go on and on with the value stack, but the biggest thing is investing in yourself, a small $99 a month to literally change your life. You're going to change your lives.
Yeah, and proximity is everything, guys. I got to tell you, proximity is everything. You will start comparing your activity levels to people like Brian, Sandy, and myself because we share that all the time inside of our group.
Yeah, you'll start taking on different identities. Like you'll really become a different identity of who you dream that identity to be in this industry. So, yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for coming on. Sorry we kept you over a little bit. Sandy and Danny and I are very passionate about this.
I know.
Danny, go ahead.
We are so passionate.
Being a person has increased my activity level.
I think he's cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, Danny, you're breaking up on us a little bit.
I think he said that I'm giving him a run for his money and making him show up a little differently to his business. If I'm pretty sure that's what he's
you
saying.
do have that effect on everybody around you.
Yes.
And
You
it's a
guys
good thing.
help
I
me
love
too. You help me become a better leader for you too. So I love it.
Amen. All right, guys. Hey, everybody have a great rest of the week. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Those of you in the program, there is no coaching call this week. It is Thanksgiving, so we're taking that off. But enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great Thanksgiving. And then we got 2, maybe 3 weeks worth of really hitting it on the phones and getting after it in December. And then we're
Yeah.
cruising into this. So, all right, look forward to seeing those of you that are registered. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Those of you that haven't registered yet, look forward to seeing you registered. And we're going to all do this together.
Yeah.
All
Bye,
right, guys.
guys. Grateful for you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.